welcome to the TM Academy number 1. This academy will be featuring the following topics, which I'll first explain to you how does an academy work, so you'll be less lost when you are actually completing this academy. But actually, in this first academy, we'll talk about why and what is talent management, because you run for LCVP TM, which I believe you have a certain idea of what is TM is. But I also want to share with you, from my perspective, what is talent management actually is and what is the importance of talent management, because you'll be working with this for the next year and you will be your responsible for TM in your entity in the next year. So it's really important for you to understand what is actually is and what is your responsibilities group is covering. And you might heard of TM is actually relevant to culture. And people sometimes think that culture can be something that is very fluffy, but it's actually something that could be very powerful. So I would like to share with you a few tips about how can we use culture to drive actually contributing to exchange. And finally, in this academy, there will be also a few minutes to talk about, for you to go through a PDF about global members and how for you as TM can actually contribute or drive global members in your entity. And there's also videos from the fellows VPTMs in 16 and 17 to share how they drive global members in the entities practically, so you can actually learn from them and replicate their strategies in your turn. Cool. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is why talent management. So what is the purpose of talent management and how TM can actually drive exchanges, and what is our role as VPTM or actually HR in other organizations. So if you ask your questions, why do you run for LCVP TM? What would it be? Just use like maybe 30 seconds to think about like why do you decide to run for VPTM? What is your biggest motivation to run as an LCVP TM? Or you might not like decide to be LCVP TM, but your LCP elect just assigned you because they think you're suitable for being an LCVP TM. Think about the reason why they choose you as LCVP TM as well. So for me, like talent management is really important in ISAC because we are a leadership development organization and everybody knows this. And we want to develop leadership, which is the 4 qualities. In ISAC, we define leaderships as being possessing these 4 qualities as being world citizens, being self-aware, being able to empower others, and being solution-oriented as the leadership that we want to develop as an organization. And how do we do this is actually through in another journey. And here for our members, we ensure that every experience that we deliver are fulfilling the team standards. So you might ask, like, so what is the TM relevance in this model? What is the TM relevance in ensuring we are actually developing leadership in this organization? So here I put out a little like graph to show you how every functions actually work together and what is the role of TM in actually the bigger part of ISAC. So you can see like most of our exchange function is here, OGV, OGT, and IGT. They're dealing with our external customers, which is young people and companies. They go and sell our product, which is exchanges, to our customers. So for example, for OGV, they will go and tell students in universities that they can go on a voluntary trip with us, and they will develop leadership through our exchange products. But we actually need resources to help us to facilitate these experiences, which TM and finance come in the way to support this experience to be able to happen. So for TM, we are managing a very, very crucial resources in ISAC, which is our people. Without our people, nothing can happen in this organization. We are managing our membership and ensuring that they have the skills, they have the right mindset, and they have the knowledge to actually facilitate this experience for our customers. And for finance, they're actually ensuring there's infrastructures and resources, so mainly money, to make sure that we have the capacity to actually run these programs. So here, as you can see, basically why we said TM is all about people, and how can we ensure that every one of our membership is actually going through a leadership development journey in order for them to actually also deliver a leadership development journey for our customers, which is young people and company as well. So that's why TM is a very, very important supporting function, which support all of the activities that and enable them to happen in here. So so for you, you might ask, what is my role as a VPTM in AIESEC? So the main thing, there's one job that you should really be fulfilling for the next year, is that make the right people decisions. So you make the right people decisions by asking yourself, what are the people that we have to recruit to this organization to enable them to facilitate these experiences? How can we develop the people that we recruited, and how can we actually retain these people? So in this graph, you can also see that there's like 3 main aspects in TM that we are making decisions every day. So first, we ask ourselves, how do we recruit? So basically, Join to Lead is the biggest program or projects that TM is responsible for, to make sure that we actually have the HR that we need to run our program. And then we have different projects to ensure that we actually are developing the people that we have. So we have team standards, which ensure every team experience that every members go through up to a certain level, and the experience itself is actually helping our members to become a better person through practical experiences. And throughout the journey, they might need different skills or mindsets to enable them to actually perform. So for example, if a members need to do an info sessions, they might need public speaking or storytelling skills, and it's through these trainings and LCMs that they can learn these skills and enable them to perform better in their role. And I'm not sure how many of you actually know about leads, but it's actually a facilitated spaces that want to catalyze our membership to develop those leadership qualities that our leadership development model suggested. So for example, there's a space, every lead space should be focusing on one leadership development qualities. So for example, it will be focused on strength over weaknesses, and the space will be helping members to understand what is their strength and how can they focus on developing their strength through all of the opportunities or the decisions that they make. And finally, retention is super important for TM, because we need to actually retain and engage these people to stay in this organization to help us to work, because if we develop them and we train them but they just leave after 1 month, there's no point. And it's actually very important to make sure that our people actually understand the value of this organization and stay behind to help us to actually work as an effective organization. So there are streaming projects as well, which is team standards, global members, and EB pipeline to help we engage and retain our people better. So you might also ask, so how does it actually works in this year, in 1670? So I can give you a bit of context. We actually recruited 562 new members in autumn recruitment in 1617. And in winter recruitment, until now, we have recruited 107. Sorry, this number here is wrong. But we actually recruit more than 100 new members. So in the whole year, we recruited around 700 new members in our organization to help us to drive exchanges. And how did we develop these people? So every entities, I'm sure in your entities, you have run or attend an LCM in your entities, and some of the entities has also conducted personal development talk. So these talk is to aim to help our members to identify personal goals in AIESEC and how do they want to develop and gain out from this organization. And some of the entities has also delivered lead. And in all national conferences, especially Maxis, you guys might, whoever has attended might probably also know that we have lead space there. And if you come to NSC, there's also another lead space to help you to develop a particular kind of leadership development qualities. And finally, local education cycle has been introduced and implemented. and up till now we have 31 approved global members. So we are quite good at helping our membership to stay engaged throughout summer if we can increase our global members rate. So yeah, so here I also would like to introduce a very new concept to you, which is called how VPTM can work more like a chief executive manager in this organization. So what does it mean is that currently LCVPTM is sort of working aside that indirectly managing our members. So each of the OGV members will have direct team leaders, which is VP OGV, but then the VPTM is sort of more or less indirectly managing them through LCMs or sometimes personal development talk. But instead, when you just like think out of the box and take a step back and really think how do HR actually work in an external environment, you can think about that the HR manager is actually never really talk to the employees directly, but what do is that they actually work with each of these product heads to ask them about membership or employees data for them to understand the employees better. Because just imagine in ISAC, like me as MCVPTM, I have 700 to manage for. So for example, for you, each of you as LCVPTM, you might have like around 40 to 50 new members in your entities. How can you actually use this time to talk to every single one of them and track and understand what is their current status? So the best way for you to actually be strategical is to actually work much closer to your fellow VPs, and really you as a chief executive, like chief HR manager, you're the one who design what is the best people management strategies, and you communicate to each of these VP, especially those who are managing members under them, and then you collect feedback or data from each of these team leaders, who's for example, your VP OGV or VP OGT who's managing the members, to actually understand what is actually the best way of going on managing the members. For example, team standards, what is the best way to implement it? And SVPTM, what will be, how does it exactly look like? How you can actually help track your membership. So for example, this is a timeline that when you start your term in May, first, I think I would suggest you to identify goal achievements of each of the members with the VPs. So you can understand that, okay, after each VP, conduct a one-to-one with each of the members to understand what do they want to achieve in this organization. Then you have a one-to-one with each of the VPs to understand, okay, you have 10 members in OGV. What does each of these 10 members want to achieve? And you just have to talk to your OGV instead of talk to 10 of these members, because this is the responsibility for the VP OGV to actually go and talk to these 10 OGV members instead of you as VPTM to go and talk to the OGV members as well. So go and set the expectation with each of the exchange product heads. And after that, then they conduct this one-to-one with the membership or the team member, and then you go and sit down with them and ask them what are the goals for each of your members. So for me to actually hold them accountable to develop themselves and keep track of the membership performance in the functional activities. And after every month, you just review the goal achievement with each of the members with the VP head. So you can identify trends or which of the members that you need to push. You need to advise the OGV to pay a bit more attention and push a bit more, because most of the time the product heads might not be able to focus too much on personal development or actually people aspect of the team, because they might focus a lot on strategies. But you as HR manager or VPTM, your focus should really be focusing on whether each of the members have the skills to actually drive the role or the JD. And if you identify that, oh, some of the members is actually behind on their goal, then how can you also advise your VP OGV to deliver this different kind of training or one-to-one to actually coach these members better? So yeah, so basically why talent management is very easy is we want to provide the best experience for every single membership and ensure that leadership is developed in every single one of our members, and it's through member tracking and working very closely with each of the VPs to identify what is the best people decision that we can make and what's the best people practice that we can utilize.